There's up. That one on the low. Eh? I'm going to give something now. Can't get that now. With the angle. Eh? Take the key style. The key style. Shift here like or left. Then put there now. You can come down. No, this you can do it manually. Water, water and 7 up. Water and 7 up. It's on me. Don't die. How much? You could have for this. What is what is what? Whenever it's like October. problem. Now, let's start worrying. Don't now I'm halfway on it. That's the way it is. Look, come on, where? Also, there's something about I'm just said what the white real folk, 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 alpha, alpha. But I am going to I am what on our call. hello. Testing the microphone. Answer this is not make you use your phone. That's fine. My phone. Before before I have my only problem with them. Not the extent to go dates for how many months. No matter what you're done. There's no anything. You know my voice. And I know my voice. Like it's all according to my voice.
Test, test, test. Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test. Test, test. Test, test.
Please, one more time, can we give a round of applause to the Malaria Warriors for that wonderful rendition? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I say a big welcome to you all to this very, very special event. And I use the word special because it's not all the time you get to experience something as historic as what we're about to do tonight. So once more, a very big welcome to you. And the hall is looking pretty colorful. I can see so many wonderful colors, which is very synonymous with the culture and heritage we're representing today from West Africa, Nigeria to be precise. Please give yourself a round of applause for looking so colorful and beautiful tonight. My name is Williams Uzombe. I'm going to be your host for tonight. A bit of background about myself. I've been a radio and TV presenter for nearly 10 years from back home in Nigeria, even before coming to Nova Scotia, Canada. And I'm presently a student of Ivory campus of NSCC studying radio and television journalism because I'm still very passionate about being in the media space. And I still do a couple of voiceovers for radio jingles, TV commercials, audiobooks, soft documentary, and the likes. And I'm going to be your host tonight. Thank you. Now, to set things in motion, it's very important we recognize the land for which we are present this evening. And I'm going to quickly read out the land acknowledgement, which is very traditional with events here in Canada. So oblige me. We are gathered today in the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people, a place that has been a meeting ground, a home, and a source of sustenance for countless generations. This land tells a story not only of the Mi'kmaq people, but of all who have come to its shores seeking community, understanding, and a place to call home. As we come together to celebrate tonight's event, we are reminded of the rich tapestry of cultures that have woven their narratives into the very fabric of Nova Scotia. We acknowledge the profound contributions and enduring resilience of the Mi'kmaq nations who continue to teach us the values of stewardship, community, and respect for all living things. We honor the African Nova Scotians whose history on this land dates back to the early days of colonization, from those who arrived as enslaved individuals to the Black loyalists seeking refuge and freedom. Their strength, determination, and rich cultural heritage have been instrumental in shaping the province's identity and inspiring the struggle for justice and equality. In this spirit, let us pay our respect to the elders, past, present, and emerging, and to all who have stewarded this land throughout the ages. May our gathering today be a tribute to their legacies and a beacon of hope for generations to come. I think that calls for a round of applause. I mean, there's a popular saying that goes that to those who honors are due, give them their due honors. And we cannot but always remember the amazing people who originally owned the land which we all sit and make a living today. So ladies and gentlemen, right, once more, you're welcome to this event. It's a celebration of life, a celebration of a rich heritage that has spanned many, many generations of persons and individuals. We're here today to celebrate the premiere of an amazing artwork, a movie premiere, a documentary known as ah-fah-MEH-foo-nah. Now, ah-fah-MEH-foo-nah comes from a culture, as I mentioned earlier, a rich culture from West Africa, Nigeria, to be precise, the Igbo culture. And ah-fah-MEH-foo-nah simply means, as I usually tell people, that Google is your friend. And in the world of today, with the advancement of AI, there is no kind of information you cannot get. So if you Google or ask AI the meaning of ah-fah-MEH-foo-nah, it will gladly explain that to you. But ah-fah-MEH-foo-nah simply means my name will not lost, or may my name be not be forgotten. In the quest for knowledge, adventure, Africans have sojourned the whole of the globe. And Nova Scotia, Canada is no different. It has a rich history of Africans who have migrated thousands of miles from their homeland in search of knowledge, adventure, call it greener pasture. And tonight we're going to watch a movie premiere that would highlight many of this and lots more. But to set things in perspective, right about now, I would like to invite the chairperson of NICANS to come give us his opening goodwill messages. And it's no other person than one amazing gentleman that has put in so much work to make today's event possible. But before I get to him, as I did mention earlier, to those who honors are due, give such honors. Tonight's event wouldn't have been possible without the wonderful support from our partners and sponsors. Top among the list, the government of Nova Scotia, WestJet, ANSA, and many other wonderful brands, which as I get their names, I will be reading them out. We say a big thank you to these amazing brands and organizations and associations that worked tirelessly with the organizers of tonight's event to make it possible. So we say a big thank you to our sponsors, our partners, and all those who worked towards making today's event a reality. So right about now, I'd like to invite the person of Mazi Ugochukwu Ezemenari to come give us his opening remark. Please, a hand of applause to Ugochukwu as he comes here.
Good evening, all. Ooh. I'm so glad to have everyone here, and I want to say welcome, everybody. And I have written my speech because I'm a little bit nervous of the dignitaries. Thank you. Thank you. Distinguished guests, esteemed community members, friends, and families. Good evening and welcome to the special screening of our documentary series titled Roots Undying, Legacy Rising, This Igbo Spirit in Canadian Soil. It is with immense pride and joy that we gather here today to celebrate not just a film, but a journey that honors the rich history, vibrant culture, and enduring spirit of the Igbo people in Nova Scotia and across Canada. Tonight, we are deeply honored by the presence of distinguished dignitaries who stand with us in celebrating this moment of cultural reflection and pride. Please join me in recognizing Senator Tony Ince, Premier Tim Houston, ably represented by Honorable Adegoke Fadere, MLA for Clayton Park West, in essential, His Worship and the filmer who sent in his message, which we're going to hear after my speech. Then also, I want to welcome Councillor John Young, District 13, Beaverbank. Thank you so much for coming. Our very own Dr. Gladys Lynn Jones, a lifelong civil rights activist and enduring inspiration to our community. Also, Mr. Randy Headley, the board chair of Delmo Body Day Learning Institute. Please wave so I can see you. Thank you very much for coming. And the CEO of Velmo Body Day Learning Institute by Ms. Sylvia Paris Demron. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Also want to recognize also Dr. George Fripong, the Director of Research. I don't think he's here. Thank you. And Mr. Ray Fernandez, a good friend, and he's here representing the Department of Community, Culture, Tourism, and Heritage. We have been partners for 3 years. Thank you so much for the support that we have received from everyone. And your presence here tonight affirms the value of community, diversity, and cultural legacy in shaping the Nova Scotian and Canadian experience. This documentary is more than a visual story. It is a declaration of identity, an ode to perseverance, and a tribute to the generations past, present, and future. It speaks of a people whose roots run deep, whose legacy cannot be buried, and whose spirit cannot be broken. The Igbo people are known for their resilience, enterprise, and unyielding I can spirit, a spirit that has found expression even here, thousands of miles from our ancestral homeland, on Canada's soil. This spirit echoes through the hands that build, the mind that lead, the voices that advocate, and the hearts that dreams boldly in the face of challenge. Also want to recognize, thank you so much. Also want to recognize, made to understand that Honorable Susan Henson, MLA of Halifax, Nedelham is here. Please can we recognize her. Thank you so much for coming in. Yes, yes, yes. And in this film, we rediscover stories of migration, adaptation, survival, and success. We see the beauty of language, the power of our proverbs, and the strength of our cultural identity. We see how, even when uprooted, the Igbo spirit continues to blossom, undaunted, undying, and ever rising. To every contributor, storyteller, and supporter of this project, we say thank you. You have given our history a voice and our future a compass. As you watch tonight, may you be inspired, may you reflect, and may you recognize that the story of the Igbos in Nova Scotia is a part of a broader, beautiful Canadian story, a story of inclusion, courage, contribution, and hope. Thank you all for being part of this unforgettable evening. I welcome you all once again to Áfàméfùnà, Roots Undying, Legacy Rising. Ka anyị gaba n'iru. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we can do better than that. Can we please appreciate Ugo? Maz Ugo Chukwu is one gentleman that has worked tirelessly to promote the Igbo culture here, and especially to make today's event possible. So it's really amazing what him and his team did for tonight's event. And I also would like to acknowledge the presence of the President of Nigerians in Nova Scotia, and that's the person of Mr. Onwuka is with us. That's him there. Mr. Onwuka is a gentleman I've known for a good number of years now. Our relationship go back in Nigeria. Interestingly, we were in the same media school at some point, FRCN, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, the training school. And he's someone that is a passionate writer and has written so many amazing books. And interestingly, he has a small stand tonight too with some wonderful book around the Igbo culture, the Nigerian heritage, And please do well whenever you can, maybe during the network session, to visit the book stand there to see some of the amazing work that Mr. Onwuka has done. And I also would like to acknowledge the presence of an amazing individual. You would definitely have seen him. He's not invisible. Since you walked into the podium today, you would have seen someone busy sketching something. He's no other person than Mr. Ibe Ananaba. And it's important to note that whatever he's working on there is very important in line with the movie premiere we're going to be watching much later. And as the event goes, once it's done, he would explain a thing or two about the artwork he's working on and why it ties into the movie premiere that we shall be watching any moment from now. Good. As I did mention from the very beginning, as we get different VIPs and dignitaries walk into the hall, we will be acknowledging them. And at this point in time, I would like to invite someone very special, and we're very honored to have him in our presence to come give us a very quick goodwill message from his constituents and the body he represents. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have in our midst tonight. He has been recognized earlier, but once more, make a big welcome to Honorable Tony Ains, former MLA and cabinet minister, as he comes on stage to give us his welcome and goodwill messages. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thank you and welcome to come to this beautiful event, an event that brings together communities, an event that helps you understand why it's so important that our communities come together. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for the association for putting this on. Thank you to the Halifax Central Library. And thank you to all of you for showing up.
That's my kind of man, very brief. I was just getting ready to scribble something, and when I raised my eyes, he was already leaving. Thank you very much, sir. And once more, thank you for gracing us with your presence. And next on my list, I would like to invite another amazing gentleman that I've, gotten to know over time. Let me just quickly get his bio here. Just a second. Good. It's very important we have a good idea, background idea of whoever is coming on stage to talk to us. So, and I have so many bios on my list here with me. Okay, good. Next on my list, I would like to invite the person of Honorable Adegoke Fadare, representing the Premier of Nova Scotia at this event. MLA, he is the MLA of Clayton Park West, elected November 2024, and Ministerial Assistant to the Minister of Service Efficiency, former president of Association of Nigerians in Nova Scotia, who led major healthcare recruitment efforts, helping more than 82 plus newcomer families settle in Nova Scotia. He's a project management professional with cybersecurity expertise who coordinated COVID-19 testing sites and self-test kits distribution to 500 plus African Nova Scotian families during the crazy saga of COVID-19. He secured $74,000 in funding for healthcare professionals, networking events, and host Voices of Nova Scotia podcast. President of Leading Leaders organization focused on developing 1,000 future leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Honorable Adegoke Fadare as he comes to give us goodwill messages on behalf of the Premier.
Nice to see you, sir. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Is anybody excited about tonight's event? I thought I had the Nigerian spirit in here. Is anybody excited about tonight's event? We're almost there. We're not there yet. I want to feel the Nigerian spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, is there any boy, any girl, or maybe any man or any woman who is excited about tonight's event? If you are, can you please put your hands together? Now I feel like I'm a bit home now. Honestly, this is an amazing, amazing event. I really want to extend my heartfelt congratulations to the entire leadership, just making this happen. I'm a big believer that you must always keep on innovating and keep on inventing yourself. I apologize, my speech won't be as short as the senator. That's why it's a senator. But it's really nice seeing all the dignitaries, friends, colleagues, so many familiar faces. Really excited. I want to bring you greetings on behalf of the Premier, Tim Houston, the Premier of Nova Scotia, and the entire government of Nova Scotia. I do also want to extend these apologies for not being able to come here physically tonight. I'm sure you know there are a lot of exigencies within government. And so I do want to extend these heartfelt apologies and for you to know that this is important to him. And I hope I do justice to tonight. So this is a powerful documentary that tells the story of Nova Scotia's Igbo community. I see it tonight as a story of resilience. I see it as a story of identity. And I want to say beyond just resilience, identity, I think it's also a story of the contribution of the Igbo community to the society called Nova Scotia. It's a story about building a new home while holding fast to the heritage and to what strengthens the fabric of our province. My father used to tell me, he said, a river that forgets its source will sooner or later dry up. So it's important for us to be cognizant and aware of exactly where we come from. The Igbo Cultural Center of Nova Scotia, I want to say thank you for the work you're doing to preserve and share the Igbo heritage. Your dedication ensures that future generations will know their roots, will take pride in their history, and will understand what I call the power of community. It's always important for us to be able to tell our own story. One of the things that's happened to, I would say, the African continent and the people, the Black race, is that we have not had the opportunity to tell our own story. If you look at history, you will see that one of the things Western civilization has been able to do is to do what I call proper documentation of their story. And that's the reason why, that's what we seem to know and study. But there's a lot of story to be understood about our history. And I really want to celebrate the team, the Igbo Association, for making sure that this story is told by us and it's not something that is going to be told by people who don't understand, who have not had the experience or the lived expertise. I want to say to the filmmakers, to the elders, and all those who have shared their voices and experiences in this documentary, thank you for your courage, because it takes a lot to do what you do. Anybody might think that what you've done tonight is easy, it's a stroll in the park. What I would tell you is you try yours. Every event like tonight is more than a cultural celebration. I call them build bridges. They build bridges across. They connect people. They foster understanding. They make Nova Scotia stronger, not weaker. I want to say that again. They make Nova Scotia stronger, not weaker. They make us more united as a people. Our PC government values and supports the roles of organizations like NICABs play in shaping the province where diversity is celebrated and where every person feels like they belong. And that's the reason why, as a government, we are supporting this night initiative and also the Yam Festival. I want us to know tonight that we also will be celebrating culture, where we also know that celebrating culture goes hand in hand with creating opportunity for newcomers. That's why we've invested. I don't know how many of you know what is called PACE. That's the Physician Assessment Program. It's one of the ways that we as a government came up to cut the wait at the long time for internationally trained doctors. So it's solving problems within the healthcare system. I'm also the vice chair of the health committee, and I can say that PACE is working. It's one of the ways, and we have right now, I think, based on statistics, Nigerian physicians are like the largest number of family physicians that exist here in Nova Scotia. And I think it's something that we should be able to celebrate. Tonight is not about watching a film. It's about experiencing what I call the Igbo culture. From the flute that we've heard, Ugochukwu play already. I'm sure we'll probably hear more of the flute. From the drumming that greeted us earlier on, to what I call to the spoken word, the unmistakable flavors. I want us to know that we are invited to a living tradition. This is not a dead tradition. This is a living tradition. I want to encourage you to explore, for you to know more about the richness. I heard about the book over there. Stan, please, let's go and study more about what it means. As we watch this movie tonight, I want us to remember the stories of the Igbo community and Nova Scotian stories. It's one intertwined story. They are Canadian stories. They remind us that we truly need to listen one to another. We grow stronger together. And without taking too much of your time, I want to say a big thank you. And thank you to everyone. Thank you to all the organizers. This is really a remarkable event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adegoke Fadare, for those goodwill messages from the Office of the Premier. Thank you very much. And I'm still going to bounce back to my first VIP guest that came on stage here to talk with us briefly, Senator Tony Ains. I'm going to read your own bio right now, sir, because I have been mandated to read out the bio of all our dignitaries that come up here. So oblige me. So I'm back to Senator Tony Ains, who is a senator representing Nova Scotia in Canada House of Senate. Nova Scotia's trailblazing politician who defeated a sitting premier in 2013 and served as Minister of African Nova Scotian Affairs and the province's first Minister of Equity and Anti-Racism. He successfully passed legislation establishing Emancipation Day and Sickle Cell Awareness Day. Nice. Co-founded the Black Leaders Summit and recently discovered his Igbo heritage through DNA testing. Thank you very much. His 11th years of breaking barriers and advancing diversity in government exemplify lifetime services. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wonderful man you saw earlier, Senator Tony Ains. Okay, right about now, we want to play a video from Mayor Andy Fillmore, who wasn't able to be with us here in person today, but he sent us a beautiful video. Please watch.
On behalf of Halifax Regional Council and the people of our great city, to the ND Igbo Cultural Association of Nova Scotia. Thank you for your incredible work preserving and celebrating Igbo heritage right here in Halifax. The ah-fah-MEH-foo-nah documentary is a beautiful tribute to resilience, identity, and belonging. It tells a powerful story that enriches our shared Canadian experience, and I encourage everyone to watch and listen with open hearts. And to everyone gathering for the Irigi Festival, Happy New Yam. This celebration of harvest and renewal reminds us how deeply culture connects us across generations and across oceans. Our city is stronger because of its diversity and because of community leaders like you who keep tradition alive while creating space for unity. Thank you for including me in this special occasion, and I hope it's a joyful, moving, and unforgettable celebration. Inda Iwu, and enjoy the events.
I want to believe he meant to send day one. Good. Please, another round of applause to that wonderful video from Mayor Andy Fillmore. Good. Next on the list of goodwill messages from our VIPs, I have, let me see here. I have another amazing gentleman in-house, and I'm going to read out his bio before inviting him on the podium. He's no other person than Councillor John Young from District 14, Councillor Bevy Bank, Halifax Regional Councillor for District 14, who was elected October 2024 with an amazing 62% votes. Please a round of applause, that's good. Representing historically Black communities, including Lucasville and Upper Hammonds Plain, retired from 23 years Nova Scotia government career, now Executive Director of Lucasville Greenway Society, leading 12 to 14 $1 million Lucasville Greenway project, creating 7-kilometer multi-use trail for communities. 2027 by Sentinel, immediately delivered on campaign promises, including traffic improvements for Hammonds Plain Road and first ever transit service for Lucasville. Champion for infrastructure equity. Champion for infrastructure equity in African Nova Scotians communities, addressing emergency egress following 2023 Tantalon wildfire evacuations. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Councillor John Young as he comes to give us his welcome address.
Thank you very much. How's everybody doing tonight? Good? That's good. It's nice to see all the colors in the crowd and everything, all the different colors. I want to thank the artists doing the live art today, the drumming that was earlier as well, and a special thank to Akena, who I had the pleasure of meeting, and we met a couple of times, and he's the one that told me about this event, so I'm very happy to be here. I just want to add a little bit to the MC. There's 3 traditional Black communities in my district. The other one is Maroon Hill, and Maroon Hill is linked to the Jamaican Maroons coming there, and eventually some of them went to West Africa, they went to Sierra Leone, so there's a connection there as well. So what I'm hoping that we're going to start doing is making that connection between the continent and Nova Scotia and communicating a little bit more with all of us from the continent and all of us here from Nova Scotia. So thank you very much. Enjoy the night.
Thank you very much, Councillor Young. Please, one more time, a round of applause for Councillor Young. Good. Let's see. I still have another amazing person in-house that I would like to invite at this point in time. And I'm also going to read out the bio. We've been having all the gentlemen come on stage. It's high time we invite a female this time around. So bear with me. Next on my list of VIP dignitaries tonight is the one and only Dr. Gladys Lynn Jones, an African, thank you very much, an African-Canadian civil rights icon who preserved African history through her 10,000 plus piece archival collections now housed at St. Mary's University. As the first Black woman to run for federal office in Canada back in 1993, and first Black person elected to Canadian Labour Congress executive. She championed workers' rights for 30 plus years, named to the Order of Canada in 2023. She continues leading reparations movements, environmental justice campaigns, and community land trust. Her lifetime dedication to preserving history and advancing equity makes her exceptionally deserving. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome one more time for Dr. Gladys Lynn Jones. I'll move the mic to you, ma'am. You're welcome.
Nothing like being put on the spot. Oh. I've had the African flute. And it's, my heart's pounding because of that flute and the, what it represents. And it's not very long ago that I was gifted 2 flutes. One, my niece plays flute and wanted to learn to play the African flute. And another friend in this room who is supposed to bring me my gift, but I haven't received it as of yet. I'm just putting him on notice. But I often hear that flute in the African music and have fallen completely in love. And then they told me that someone here in Nova Scotia was really adept at playing, and here it is. And I thank you so much for that. A round of applause for the. I can't even explain how I feel this evening. And if you knew my journey in terms of really being with people, not only from the African continent, but particularly Igbo people, I'll just take you back for 1 second, because I could stay here forever and ever telling stories. But I remember when I was in junior high school, and I don't know if it's on the video or not, but we learned about African people in particular at that time, Biafran, what was happening in terms of the Biafran War around 1969, somewhere about there. And I was so enthralled and wanting to do something and help, and organizing in our small town of Truro an event to march to gather funds to contribute to the Igbo people, which that time was the Biafran in the Biafran War. And the funny thing was, I remember there was one student at Dalhousie, and it was just amazing. Oh my gosh, the real African person in our presence that came. And I couldn't pronounce the name, and at that time, I called her Okabeti, but I learned later that it was OKK. So that was a really, really common a common name. But just quickly, when I entered university, which was around 1972, there was very few people of color. And at that time, people were just coming in from the war and going to Dalhousie, mostly Dalhousie University. So to see this room so full when we couldn't even really probably fill one side of the room, and at that time, we were all one. It didn't matter. African, Nova Scotian, Igbo, Yoruba, Imo, it didn't matter because there were so few of us. We had to stick together and fight the racism, discrimination, and the effects of the colonialism together, organizing African events, and we all did it together. So I just want to tell you to have this event today, after all those years, I never thought that I would be the elder at this time and experiencing a celebration of the Igbo people in Nova Scotia. And I can't wait to share this with many of the Igbo people, including some OKKs that I'm still in touch with. I can't, from all those years, I can't wait to tell them and share with them what we're doing in Nova Scotia today. So I thank all of you. I thank the organizers and everybody that's attended today.
Thank you very much. Is it why they say women command authority sometimes? When she came on stage, you heard the flute. Yeah. And according to the Igbo culture, when you're a personality who, when you come out, they serenade you with the flute. It shows serious importance and respect. So that was a serious respect that was given to Madam. Please, a round of applause. Thank you very much, Dr. Gladys Lane Jones, for gracing us with your presence and that wonderful opening remark. Now, ladies and gentlemen, quickly, We also would want to create some buzz on social media. I mean, we're in the technology age, so I want to believe many of us have taken pictures at the red carpet, the backdrop there. So please post your pictures and tag the Association of Igbo-Nova Scotians. Scotia. So on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, put your pictures there and tag them at Igbo NS. It's very important. We want to create some buzz on social media. So for those of us who've taken pictures, go on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, now X. Tag the association. We want to create a buzz on social media. And once more, we cannot stop but continue to thank our sponsors and partners that helped make tonight's event a success. The government of Nova Scotia, HRM, ANSA, WestJet. Please a round of applause to these amazing brands and associations for putting hands together to make this possible. Now, right about now, I want to move over to this very interesting gentleman that's been standing in front of us and scribbling something on the canvas. So I want to switch over to him. And as I mentioned, he's no other person than Mr. Igbo-Nova. He's an award-winning multidisciplinary artist from Nigeria, winner Arts Masters Contest 2019. His work explores social cultural issues through painting, murals, and mixed media. And he's also based here in the beautiful city of Halifax since 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, we're moving over to Mr. Igbo to explain his piece, this wonderful piece he's been working on, and how it ties into the event of tonight.
Thanks, William. Igbo Mamanu. Good evening, everyone. I stand on the protocol. My name, like he said, my name is Igbo-Nova. I happen to be a visual storyteller. I happen to love people. It gives me utmost joy to see my tribe, to see some faces I know from Nigeria here. Goka, see you. Welcome. What you see here is about what makes us us, right? Countless times I hear the word resilience, being repeated. Resilience. What you see here is a visual story of resilience, visual story against erasure. What you see here is a story that connects us, a story that takes us back home. What you see here is a story about Ikenna, a story about Emeka, a story about Ikechukwu, a story about Ngozi, a story about Nkechi Nnenna, a story about the Igbo race. What you see here is a story about strength. What you see here is a story about what brought us here, hence these two means of transport. What originally brought us here would be the ship. And then coming to today's age, you see the plane. I don't think any of us trekked all the way from Nigeria to here, right? What you see here is a story about forward thinking, a story about not giving up, a story about pushing, a story about, what's the word now? Cultural memory. Hence, I created this out of memory without any reference. What you see here is my understanding of what ah-fah-MEH-foo-nah means. May my name never be lost. May my name never be forgotten. Everywhere we go, especially as the Igbo tribe, and by extension, the Nigerian, we carry that spirit. Everywhere we go, we show our essence. all of us here, we are here to contribute to the cultural and social and, different fabrics that makes Nova Scotia, to add that vitality, right? A funny story. I went to fix my bike at a place called Bike Again, somewhere around somewhere in the city here. So a song was playing. I met this white lady. A song was playing, and I just made a comment. I said, "Nice song." And she goes, "Oh yeah, it's called Afrobeat." Started schooling me about my culture, and I just, it gives. I personally believe the world woke up late. We have always been like this. We've always had the vibe. We are the sauce. We are like salt in soup. We are like that salt in Ofo Ulubu. We are that salt in like spice in Ofoha. Right? We carry the vibe. We are the energy. We are like sun. Right? Anywhere we go, we wear our identity with pride. What makes the Igbo race is our bragging rights, which all of combined together is what I'm trying to replicate here. It's still work in process, but then with all I've said, I would like for us to sit back, relax, and wait for the screening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, eBay. Please, another round of applause for eBay for that masterpiece that he's working on. Good. So right about now, ladies and gentlemen, while the procession was going on, our keynote speaker walked in, and I'll quickly want to introduce him and also read out his little bio that I have with me here. Just bear with me, please. Okay, let's see here. Okay. So tonight's keynote address will be handled by the one and only Professor Isaac Sani, who is the coordinator of Black and African Diaspora Studies from Dalhousie University, former director of Transition Year Program, an expert in Cuba, Africa, and Black Canadian history, and also an author of Cuba, A Revolution in Motion. He's going to be speaking on the subject matter, a powerful reflection on diaspora identity, memory, and storytelling, bridging history, resistance, and Black cultural continuity in Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome as I invite to the podium Professor Isaac Sani for his keynote address. Please keep their hands going.
First, my apologies for not arriving on time. I have a 7-year-old who basically dominates my life, and she had a very hectic day and was too tired to attend today, and so I had to take her home. Good evening, friends, elders, and esteemed members of the Nindi Igbo Cultural Association of Nova Scotia. I'm deeply honored to be here with you tonight for the special screening of ah-fah-MEH-foo-nah, a bold and beautiful cinematic work that speaks to the enduring strength of cultural memory, to the complexity of migration and diaspora, and to the unyielding resilience of African peoples in the face of erasure, displacement, and systemic injustice. I should say as an aside, when I was first approached about being sort of the keynote for this documentary, and I was told it was going to focus on the Ikejiani family, I said they didn't know I had a connection with them. okay, that I had been close friends with the late Emmanuel Ikejani. I knew Charles when at law school, and I'd actually spent time up in Glace Bay with the family and so on. So there was this deep connection and almost felt as if a circle was connecting, as they say, the term full circle. Tonight, we gather not only to celebrate a film, but to honor a life, the life of Dr. Okechukwu Ikejani, whose story is both remarkable and profoundly instructive. His journey from colonial Nigeria to the laboratories of Canada, from war-torn Biafran public to the communities of Cape Breton, speak powerfully to Nova Scotia's long-standing and deeply rooted connections to the African diaspora and the Pan-African world. We just had in the last presentation a reference to the fact that Nova Scotia is part of the Black world, right? I myself have my roots in the Black Nova Scotian community and in Trinidad and Tobago. But there's a long history of slavery here. And many of the Africans who came here would have probably had their roots in what is now Nigeria. We have a lot of research still to be done on that. The Black loyalists who then actually came escaping slavery, and the Black refugees also escaping slavery who came to Nova Scotia would have brought those profound historical connections with them. And of course, as some of you may know, in 1792, 1,196 members of the new African Nova Scotian community voted with their feet through a tremendous mass democratic discussion to return to Africa, i.e. to Sierra Leone at that time. So there are these profound connections. Dr. Ikejani was not simply a man of letters or a man of medicine. He was a mission-born scholar, a scientific pioneer, a freedom fighter, and above all, a servant of the people. Born, and I hope I pronounce it correctly, Obagayu Nere in Anambra State into the household of Reverend Canon Jeremiah Ikejani. He was raised in the intellectual and spiritual climate of the Anglican mission era, a time of both colonial restraint and emergent African agency. Africans were regaining their agency as they would not begin to launch themselves on an immense struggle that would eventually lead to independence. From his foundation, he would go on to scale the heights of academic achievement and international service. In 1938, decades before the word diaspora would enter popular usage, Dr. Ikejani left Nigeria for Canada. He arrived at a time when Black Africans were a rarity in Canadian universities, yet he excelled. He earned degrees in science and medicine from the University of New Brunswick, the University of Chicago, and the University of Michigan. His groundbreaking work on tropical diseases and antibody detection contributed not only to global health, but also to the dignity of African scientific knowledge and practice. Dr. Ikejani was not content to remain abroad. He returned home to a newly independent Nigeria and assumed critical national leadership roles during one of the most pivotal moments in that country's history. And of course, some of you are aware of what's unfolding in Francophone West Africa as we speak, in Senegal and Burkina Faso. There's a new renaissance of African independence, wishing to go beyond just simply formal flag independence, the nominal independence, to overthrow neo-colonialism, but to achieve what Amilcar Cabral, the great African leader of the liberation struggles in Guinea-Bissau and Cape Verde, genuine control over history. Dr. Ikejani is chairman of the Nigerian Railway Commission, as director of the National Clinic Laboratories, and as pro-chancellor of the University of Ibadan. He helped to shape the infrastructure of a new African nation. And when crisis came in the form of the Biafran War, he did not turn away. He became Commissioner of Rehabilitation, directed medical services for refugees, and served as ambassador plenipotentiary for Biafra, and not as a mere diplomat, but as a physician of the people, committed to healing amid war, loss, and upheaval. Yet his journey did not end there. In 1971, Dr. Ikejani returned to Canada, this time as a refugee of war and bearer of memory. He eventually settled in Glace Bay, Cape Breton, where he would spend more than 2 decades serving as pathologist-in-chief and medical director of community hospitals. For many in Nova Scotia, particularly within the African Nova Scotian and immigrant communities, he was more than a physician. He was a bridge between continents, between cultures, and between generations. And at the time when I actually went to Glace Bay as a young person, I was very young at the time, of course, I did not recognize and understand the significance of his commitment and of his presence there at the time. As a historian who has grown in age and hopefully experience, and perhaps a little wisdom or a little less non-wisdom, you appreciate the importance of elders. You appreciate the importance of the fact that, yes, we live in a world in which we're shaped by profound dynamics and structures and forces that we may not know. but it's human beings of flesh and blood who make history, who embody this history, and he was one of those individuals. And so in this very province, we must recognize him not as a Nigerian, Canadian, or an African immigrant alone, but as part of the living story of Black Nova Scotia, a story that stretches, as was pointed out, from slavery, from the Black loyalists, from the Maroons of Jamaica, to the mines of Cape Breton, from the struggles of Africville to the classrooms of Nigeria. And I should say also, to hopefully we will find a solution to the Super Eagles' inability to perform well in the World Cup. As I was mentioning, I remember in 1994 sitting with a classmate of us in law school, watching Nigeria play Italy and screaming, "Why aren't you kicking Baggio down?" Okay, but we leave that aside and so on. Okay? Dr. Ikejani's life reminds us that the African world is not an abstraction. It is lived, it is layered, it is local, it is Nova Scotian. Nova Scotia, often seen as peripheral to the global African history, is in fact deeply implicated in the wider currents of Pan-African struggle and liberation. And just briefly, I'd perhaps like to mention that some of you may be aware of the Pan-African Congresses, right? There's a very famous one in 1945 that was held in Manchester, England, okay, in which people like Jomo Kenyatta, Kwame Nkrumah, and other important people who played a significant role in the independence and anti-colonial struggles after the post-Second World War came together in that conference in 1945, shortly after the Second World War came to a close. What many people don't realize is that was a continuation of conferences that were initiated not just after World War I by the great African-American giant, intellectual giant W.E. Du Bois, but actually followed on the first one that took place in England, in London, in 1900, organized by Henry Sylvester Williams, who actually studied at Dalhousie University for a year, and he was deeply involved in the African Nova Scotian community. We don't have any records, but he must have engaged in discussions, and many of the ideas that shaped his Pan-African view must have been cultivated by lots of the discussions he must have held in Nova Scotia at that time. So there's that profound connection. Some of you are familiar with Marcus Garvey, who led the largest international mass movement in history. And some of you may not be aware that there were 11 chapters of his movement in Nova Scotia. And in fact, the famous song, perhaps the most famous song of Bob Marley's Redemption Song, is based on a speech he gave in Nova Scotia in 1937. And of course, with Dr. Lynn Jones present here, a powerful elder, we have to remember what happened in the 1960s, when the Black Panthers and the Black Power movement and the global Black liberation struggle had its manifestation here in Nova Scotia. And on November 30th, 1968, the largest Black political meeting to that time in Canadian history took place in the Halifax Regional Library, in the Halifax North Branch Library. Okay. And Dr. Burnley Rocky Jones, Lynn Jones's brother, late brother, was a central player in that. And Lynn was also part of that history, witnessing those discussions that were taking place at that time. As coordinator of the Black and African Diaspora Studies program at Dalhousie University, the first, I must say, and the most comprehensive of its kind, okay, and a result of a collective effort, I have to underscore, I have argued together with my colleagues that African Heritage Black History Month must not be reduced to celebration alone. It must be a call to remember that the struggle continues. In the life of Dr. Ikejani, we see that the struggle lived in the laboratory, in the lecture hall, in the refugee camp, and in the quiet halls of a small Cape Breton hospital. His intellectual contributions, including his works on Nigerian education and politics, testify to a life of critical engagement. He wrote not to entertain, but to educate and to awaken. His vision of Nigeria and indeed of the world was grounded in justice, equity, and a rejection of both colonial subjugation and internal oppression. And his legacy lives on, not only in the institutions, but in family, through his children and grandchildren, some of whom serve right here in Nova Scotia's legal and medical systems and continuing his ethos of service. And as we watch ah-fah-MEH-foo-nah tonight, okay, let us reflect on how our stories, even when born from trauma, can be reimagined, reclaimed, and rerouted. Dr. Ikejani did not simply migrate. He carried culture. He transmitted knowledge. He built institutions. He nurtured community. Let his memory remind us that diasporic journeys are not linear. They are recursive, complicated, unfinished, and so we gather here tonight. So we gathered here tonight are the inheritors of unfinished work. In honoring him, we honor ourselves. In telling his story, we continue the long story of resistance, dignity, and belonging. Let us keep telling it. Let us keep building. Let us keep remembering. Ah-fah-MEH-foo-nah, he who is remembered lives. Thank you.
Please, a bigger round of applause there. I think that actually calls for a standing ovation. That was a wonderful speech. Please, another big round of applause for our keynote speaker. Thank you very, very much, Professor Isaac Sani, for that wonderful, passionate keynote address. The African story has to continue. We have to tell our stories. Back home, there's a popular proverb that we use back home that we can learn a lot from the lizard. The lizard usually has this thing it does when it falls from a plateau. It always nods its head. And back home, we call that it's a gesture back home that we refer to you praising yourself. When you do something nice, you go like, yeah, I did that. So we relate it to a lizard. When a lizard falls, you always see it nods its head. I don't know, those of you who actually watch a lizard, it always nods its head. So we use that to ascribe someone who praises himself. When you do something nice, you nod your head. So we can only tell our story. Nobody can tell your story better than you yourself, the eyewitness. He that wears the shoes knows where he pinches. So we must continue to tell the African story. And from that keynote address, you saw the passion in Professor Isaac Sani. And that's the kind of passion that all of us, Black folks, wherever we are, young and old, we must continue to radiate the African heritage. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to that time where we will be watching the movie itself, the documentary itself, Ah-fah-MEH-foo-nah. And just as you've heard from different speakers, including some of my earliest statements, the name or the meaning of Ah-fah-MEH-foo-nah means, may my name not be lost. May my identity not be lost or forgotten. Interestingly, the Igbo culture back home in Nigeria, the minute you're about to set out to the city, you want to leave the village and go to the city or go in search of greener pasture, wherever you want to go to. One of the fundamentals you hear from both your parents and your kinsmen, they always tell you, do not forget the family or the home where you came from. It's very synonymous to the name Ah-fah-MEH-foo-nah, because they are telling you that no matter where you go to, no matter what you embark on in life, do not allow the good name that has been given to you. Because back home, we give names with a meaning. All our names have meanings and very unique meanings. Like my own Igbo name is Chukuma, meaning God knows. Williams is just the English name given to me by my mom, my lovely mom. But my Igbo name is Chukuma, God knows. And my last name is Uzomba. Uzomba means road to wealth, road to good tidings. So every name given to an Igbo person, synonymous with even other tribes, even the Yorubas, all their names, the Hausas, all their names have deep meanings associated with the tribe you're from. So you always hear that from your kinsmen, your people, whenever you're leaving your village to wherever you want to go to, Europe, other parts of the world. They tell you, do not forget the family, the place where you're from. So wherever you go, represent that name, keep that name going. So it's very, very synonymous to the title of the wonderful documentary you're about to watch, Ah-fah-MEH-foo-nah. So please give your undivided attention to the screen as the video itself would play. And after the video, we'll have a quick fireside interaction with the movie makers, those who made the movie possible. to come share their experience on making the movie. And of course, we'll also be having a very important segment in tonight's event, which will be the Lifetime Service Awards. We have a number of well-deserving individuals we will be recognizing. You don't want to miss that. That's the Lifetime Service Award. We will be giving awards to some amazing individuals, both living and past. So you don't want to miss that. So ladies and gentlemen, right about now, the movie premiere, Áfàméfùnà. And please, quick one. The table on your far right, depending on, the far right, it's for you all. So please help yourself to the drinks, the food basket, everything there is for you guys. So please help yourself. Feel free. It's a family
the
affair.
council and the people of our great city. Igbo culture, Nova Scotia. Thank you for your incredible work preserving and celebrating Igbo heritage right here in Halifax. I'm Mayor Andy Fillmore, and I'm honored.
Nova Scotia, we gather.
Hello.
To celebrate the origin on the sacred ground. Drums are beating and the dancers spin. Oh, we're dancing to the rhythm of our cultural king. Feel the spirit of the harvest in your soul. Hey. Come together, let the good times roll. Hey. The yams are plenty, the feasts are grand. We're proud of our roots, our Igbo land. Hand in hand, we'll celebrate forever strong. Igbo, we belong. We belong. In the heart of Nova Scotia, we gather round to celebrate the origin on the sacred ground. Drums are beating and the dancers spin. Oh, we're dancing to the rhythm of our cultural king. Feel the spirit of the harvest in your soul. Hey. Come together, let the good times roll. Hey. The yams are plenty, the feasts are grand. We're proud of our roots, our Igbo land. Hand in hand, we'll celebrate forever strong. Igbo, we belong. We belong. Nova Scotia, we gather round to celebrate the origin on the sacred ground. Drums are beating and the dancers spin. Oh, we're dancing to the rhythm of our cultural king. Feel the spirit of the harvest in your soul. Oh, hey. Come together, let the good times roll. Hey. The yams are plenty, the feasts are grand. We're proud of our roots, our Igbo land. Hand in hand, we celebrate forever strong. Igbo, we belong. We belong. In the heart of Nova Scotia, we gather round to celebrate the origin on the sacred ground. Drums are beating and the dancers spin. Oh, we're dancing to the rhythm of our cultural king. Feel the spirit of the harvest in your soul. Oh, hey. Come together, let the good times roll. Hey. The yams are plenty, the feasts are grand. We're proud of our roots, our Igbo land. Hand in hand, we celebrate forever strong. Igbo, we belong. We belong. In the heart of Nova Scotia, we gather round to celebrate the origin on the sacred ground. Drums are beating and the dancers spin. Oh, we're dancing to the rhythm of our cultural king. Feel the spirit of the harvest in your soul. Oh, hey. Come together, let the good times roll. Hey. The yams are plenty, the feasts are grand. We're proud of our roots, our Igbo land. Hand in hand, we celebrate forever strong. Igbo, we belong. We belong. In the heart of Nova Nova Scotia, we gather round to celebrate the origin on the sacred ground. Drums are beating and the dancers spin. Oh, we're dancing to the rhythm of our cultural king.
The heart of Nova Scotia, we gather round to celebrate the origin on this sacred ground. The drums are beating and the dancers spin. Oh, we're dancing to the rhythm of our cultural king. Irichioma, Irichioma, feel the spirit of the harvest in your soul. Irichioma, Irichioma, come together, let the good times roll. Hey, the yams are plenty, the feasts are grand. Proud of our roots, our Igbo land. Hand in hand we celebrate forever strong. Igbo we belong, we belong, belong. In the heart of Nova Scotia, we gather round to celebrate the origin on this sacred ground. The drums are beating and the dancers spin. Oh, we're dancing to the rhythm of our cultural king. Irichioma, Irichioma, feel the spirit of the harvest in your soul. Irichioma, come together, let the good times roll. Hey, the yams are plenty, the feasts are grand. Proud of our roots, our Igbo land. Hand in hand we celebrate forever strong. Igbo we belong, we belong, belong. In the heart of Nova Scotia, we gather round to celebrate the origin on this sacred ground. The drums are beating and the dancers spin. Oh, we're dancing to the rhythm of our cultural king. Irichioma, Irichioma, feel the spirit of the harvest in your soul. Irichioma, come together, let the good times roll. Hey, the yams are plenty, the feasts are grand. Proud of our roots, our Igbo land. Hand in hand we celebrate forever strong. Igbo we belong, we belong, belong. In the heart of Nova Scotia, we gather round to celebrate the origin on this sacred ground. The drums are beating and the dancers spin. Oh, we're dancing to the rhythm of our cultural king. Irichioma, Irichioma. Feel the spirit of the harvest in your soul. Irichioma, Irichioma. Come together, let the good times roll. Hey. The yams are plenty, the feasts are grand. Proud of our roots, our Igbo land. Hand in hand we celebrate forever strong. Igbo we belong, we belong, belong. In the heart of Nova Scotia, we gather round to celebrate the Irish on this sacred ground. The drums are beating and the dancers spin, oh. We're dancing to the rhythm of our cultural king. Irichioma, Irichioma. Feel the spirit of the harvest in your soul. Irichioma. Come together, let the good times roll. Hey. The yams are plenty, the feasts are grand. Proud of our roots, our Igbo land. Hand in hand we celebrate forever strong. Igbo we present a true version of the lyrics. From the fertile soil the yams emerge, tended with love and care over roll. At last the harvest time converge. Let's give thanks for nature's bounty bestowed. New Yam Festival, gather and both young and old, celebrate the yam's arrival. Yes, it's finding foe. Nova Scotia, let us extol gratitude for the fruits of our toil. Pounding yams, a rhythmic dance, creating food for a cherished dish, families, friends. Enjoy a stand, sharing meals, our communal wish. Traditions passed through generations, binding hearts across all nations. From the earth we draw sustenance, in unity we find resilience. As we gather hand in hand, celebrating the gifts of this land. New Yam Festival, a time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the yam today. New Yam Festival, time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the yam today. Here's a different version of the lyrics. From the fertile soil the yams emerge, tended with love and care over roll. At last the harvest time converge. Let's give thanks for nature's bounty bestowed. New Yam Festival, gather and both the young and old, celebrate the yam's arrival. Yes, it's finding foe. In Nova Scotia, let us extol gratitude for the fruits of our toil. Pounding yams, a rhythmic dance, creating food for a cherished dish, families, friends. Enjoy a stand, sharing meals, our communal wish.
Traditions passed through generations, binding hearts across all nations. From the earth we draw sustenance. In unity we find resilience. As we gather hand in hand, celebrating the gifts of Islam. New Yam Festival, a time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Joy permeates. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the Yam today. New Yam Festival, time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Joy permeates. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the Yam today. Here's a different version of the lyrics. From the fertile soil the yams emerge, tended with love and care over row. At last the harvest time converge. Let's give thanks for nature's bounty bestowed. New Yam Festival, gather around both the young and old, celebrate the yam's arrival. Yes, it's timing for in Nova Scotia, let us extol gratitude for the fruits of our toil. Pounding yams, a rhythmic dance, creating food for a cherished dish, families, friends. Enjoy a stand, sharing meals, our communal wish. Traditions passed through generations, binding hearts across all nations. From the earth we draw sustenance. In unity we find resilience. As we gather hand in hand, celebrating the gifts of Islam. New Yam Festival, a time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeates. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the Yam today. New Yam Festival, time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the Yam today. Here's a different version of the lyrics. From the fertile soil the yams emerge, tended with love and care over row. At last the harvest time converge. Let's give thanks for nature's bounty bestowed. New Yam Festival, gather around both the young and old, celebrate the yam's arrival. Yes, it's timing for in Nova Scotia, let us extol gratitude for the fruits of our toil. Pounding yams, a rhythmic dance, creating food for a cherished dish, families, friends. Enjoy a stand, sharing meals, our communal wish. Traditions passed through generations, binding hearts across all nations. From the earth we draw sustenance. In unity we find resilience. As we gather hand in hand, celebrating the gifts of Islam. New Yam Festival, a time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeates. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the Yam today. New Yam Festival, time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the Yam today. love and care on road. At last the harvest time converge. Let's give thanks for nature's bounty bestowed. New Yam Festival. Gather and both the young and old. Celebrate the yam's arrival. Yes, it's timing for in Nova Scotia, let us explore. Gratitude for the fruits of our toil. Pounding yams, a rhythmic dance. Creating food for a cherished dish, families, friends. Enjoy a stand, sharing meals, our communal wish. Traditions passed through generations, binding hearts across all nations. From the earth we draw sustenance. In unity we find resilience. As we gather hand in hand, celebrating the gifts of Islam. Yam Festival, a time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the yam art today. Yam Festival, time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the yam art today. Here's a different version of the lyrics. From the fertile soil the yams emerge, tended with love and care on road. At last the harvest time converge. Let's give thanks for nature's bounty bestowed. Yam Festival. Gather and both the young and old. Celebrate the yam's arrival. Yes, it's timing for in Nova Scotia, let us extol. Gratitude for the fruits of our toil. Pounding yams, a rhythmic dance. Creating food for a cherished dish, families, friends. Enjoy a stand, sharing meals, our communal wish. Traditions passed through generations, binding hearts across all nations. From the earth we draw sustenance. In unity we find resilience. As we gather hand in hand, celebrating the gifts of Islam. Yam Festival, a time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the yam art today. Yam Festival, time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the yam art today. Here's a different version of the lyrics. From the fertile soil the yams emerge, tended with love and care on road. At last the harvest time converge. Let's give thanks for nature's bounty bestowed. Yam Festival. Gather and both the young and old. Celebrate the yam's arrival. Yes, it's timing for in Nova Scotia, let us extol. Gratitude for the fruits of our toil. Pounding yams, a rhythmic dance. Creating food for a cherished dish, families, friends. Enjoy a stand, sharing meals, our communal wish. Traditions passed through generations, binding hearts across all nations. From the earth we draw sustenance. In unity we find resilience. As we gather hand in hand, celebrating the gifts of Islam. and appreciate the abundance that we call. Joy permeates. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the Yama today. New Yam Festival. Time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Joy permeates. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the Yama today. Here's a different version of the lyrics. From the fertile soil the yams emerge, tended with love and care on low. At last the harvest time converge. Let's give thanks for nature's bounty bestowed. New Yam Festival. Gather and both young and old, celebrate the yam's arrival. Yes, it's finding foe. In Nova Scotia, let us extol gratitude for the fruits of our toil. Pounding yams, a rhythmic dance, creating food for a cherished dish, families, friends. Enjoy a stand, sharing meals, our communal wish. Traditions passed through generations, binding hearts across all nations. From the earth we draw sustenance. In unity we find resilience. As we gather hand in hand, celebrating the gifts of this land. New Yam Festival. A time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Joy permeates. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the Yama today. New Yam Festival. Time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Joy permeates. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the Yama today. Here's a different version of the lyrics. From the fertile soil the yams emerge, tended with love and care on low. At last the harvest time converge. Let's give thanks for nature's bounty bestowed. New Yam Festival. Gather and both young and old, celebrate the yam's arrival. Yes, it's finding foe. In Nova Scotia, let us extol gratitude for the fruits of our toil. Pounding yams, a rhythmic dance, creating food for a cherished dish, families, friends. Enjoy a stand, sharing meals, our communal wish. Traditions passed through generations, binding hearts across all nations. From the earth we draw sustenance. In unity we find resilience. As we gather hand in hand, celebrating the gifts of this land. New Yam Festival. A time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Joy permeates. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the Yama today. New Yam Festival. Time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Joy permeates. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the Yama today. Here's a different version of the lyrics. From the fertile soil the yams emerge, tended with love and care on low. At last the harvest time converge. Scotia, let us extol gratitude for the fruits of our toil. Pounding yams, a rhythmic dance, creating food for a cherished dish, families, friends. The joyous dance, sharing meals, our communal wish. Traditions passed through generations, binding hearts across all nations. From the earth we draw sustenance. In unity we find resilience. As we gather hand in hand, celebrating the gifts of Islam. Young Festival, a time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the Yama today. Young Festival, time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the Yama today. Here's a different version of the lyrics. From the fertile soil the yams emerge, tended with love and care on roll. At last the harvest can converge. Let's give thanks for nature's bounty bestowed. Young Festival, gather on both the young and old, celebrate the yam's arrival. Yes, it's finding foe. In Nova Scotia, let us extol gratitude for the fruits of our toil. Pounding yams, a rhythmic dance, creating food for a cherished dish, families, friends. Enjoy a dance, sharing meals, our communal wish. Traditions passed through generations, binding hearts across all nations. From the earth we draw sustenance. In unity we find resilience. As we gather hand in hand, celebrating the gifts of Islam. Young Festival, a time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the Yama today. Young Festival, time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the Yama today. Here's a different version of the lyrics. From the fertile soil the yams emerge, tended with love and care on roll. At last the harvest can converge. Let's give thanks for nature's bounty bestowed. Young Festival, gather on both the young and old, celebrate the yam's arrival. Yes, it's finding foe. In Nova Scotia, let us extol gratitude for the fruits of our toil. Pounding yams, a rhythmic dance, creating food for a cherished dish, families, friends. Enjoy a dance, sharing meals, our communal wish. Traditions passed through generations, binding hearts across all nations. From the earth we draw sustenance. In unity we find resilience. As we gather hand in hand, celebrating the gifts of Islam. Young Festival, a time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the Yama today. Young Festival, time Scotia, we congregate to honor the arm of our hearts elect. Here's a different version of the lyrics. From the fertile soil the yams emerge, tended with love and care over row. At last the harvest time converge. Let's give thanks for nature's bounty bestowed. New Yam Festival, gather on both the young and old, celebrate the yam's arrival. Yes, it's finding foe. In Nova Scotia, let us extol gratitude for the fruits of our toil. Pounding yams, a rhythmic dance, creating food for a cherished dish, families, friends. Enjoy a stand, sharing meals, our communal wish. Traditions passed through generations, binding hearts across all nations. From the earth we draw sustenance, in unity we find resilience. As we gather hand in hand, celebrating the gifts of Islam. New Yam Festival, a time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the yam hearts elect. New Yam Festival, time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the yam hearts elect. Here's a different version of the lyrics. From the fertile soil the yams emerge, tended with love and care over row. At last the harvest time converge. Let's give thanks for nature's bounty bestowed. New Yam Festival, gather on both the young and old, celebrate the yam's arrival. Yes, it's finding foe. In Nova Scotia, let us extol gratitude for the fruits of our toil. Pounding yams, a rhythmic dance, creating food for a cherished dish, families, friends. Enjoy a stand, sharing meals, our communal wish. Traditions passed through generations, binding hearts across all nations. From the earth we draw sustenance, in unity we find resilience. As we gather hand in hand, celebrating the gifts of Islam. New Yam Festival, a time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the yam hearts elect. New Yam Festival, time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the yam hearts elect. Here's a different version of the lyrics. From the fertile soil the yams emerge, tended with love and care over row. At last the harvest time converge. Let's give thanks for nature's bounty bestowed. New Yam Festival, gather on both the young and old, celebrate the yam's arrival. Yes, it's finding foe. In Nova Scotia, let us extol gratitude for the fruits of our toil. Pounding yams, a rhythmic dance, creating food for a cherished dish, families, friends. Enjoy a stand, sharing meals, and communal wish. Traditions passed through generations, finding hearts across all nations. From the earth we draw sustenance. In unity we find resilience. As we gather hand in hand, celebrating the gifts of this land. New Yam Festival, a time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the yam today. New Yam Festival, time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the yam today. Here's a different version of the lyrics. From the fertile soil the yams emerge, tended with love and care over row. At last the harvest time converge. Let's give thanks for nature's bounty bestowed. New Yam Festival, gather and both young and old, celebrate the yam's arrival. Yes, it's manifold. In Nova Scotia, let us extol gratitude for the fruits of our toil. Pounding yams, a rhythmic dance, creating food for a cherished dish, families, friends. Enjoy a stand, sharing meals, our communal wish. Traditions passed through generations, finding hearts across all nations. From the earth we draw sustenance. In unity we find resilience. As we gather hand in hand, celebrating the gifts of this land. New Yam Festival, a time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the yam today. New Yam Festival, time to reflect and appreciate the abundance that we call. Let joy permeate. In Nova Scotia we congregate to honor the yam today. Here's a different version of the lyrics. From the letter show, glad to go, tended with care row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request. The New York Festival, gather round one and all, celebrate the yam's arrival. Bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make for food, families, friends, old and new, sharing meals with love and laughter. Traditions passed to sons and daughters. What's a sons and daughters? Let us show glad to go, tended with care row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request. The New York Festival, gather round one and all, celebrate the yam's arrival. Bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make for food, families, friends, old and new, sharing meals with love and laughter, traditions passed to sons and daughters. Ours was a sons and daughters, that I show, glad to go, tended with care, row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request. Iriji, the New York festival. Gather round one and all, celebrate the yam's arrival. Iriji, bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make for food. Families, friends, old and new, sharing meals with love and laughter, traditions passed to sons and daughters. Ours was a sons and daughters, that I show, glad to go, tended with care, row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request. Iriji, the New York festival. Gather round one and all, celebrate the yam's arrival. Iriji, bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make for food. Families, friends, old and new, sharing meals with love and laughter, traditions passed to sons and daughters. Ours was a sons and daughters, that I show, glad to go, tended with care, row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request. Iriji, the New York festival. Gather round one and all, celebrate the yam's arrival. Iriji, bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make for food. Families, friends, old and new, sharing meals with love and laughter, traditions passed to sons and daughters. Ours was a sons and daughters, that I show, glad to go, tended with care, row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request. Iriji, the New York festival. Gather round one and all, celebrate the yam's arrival. Iriji, bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make for food. Families, friends, old and new, sharing meals with love and laughter, traditions passed to sons and daughters. Ours was a sons and daughters, that I show, glad to go, tended with care, row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request. Iriji, the New York festival. Gather round one and all, celebrate the yam's arrival. Iriji, bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make for food. Families, friends, old and new, sharing meals with love and laughter, traditions passed to sons and daughters. Arms for the sons and daughters, not a show, glad to go. Tended with care, row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request. EG, the New York Festival. Gather round one and all, celebrate the yam's arrival. EG, bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make for food. Families, friends, old and new. Sharing meals with love and laughter. Traditions passed to sons and daughters. Arms for the sons and daughters. Not a show, glad to go. Tended with care, row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request. EG, the New York Festival. Gather round one and all, celebrate the yam's arrival. EG, bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make for food. Families, friends, old and new. Sharing meals with love and laughter. Traditions passed to sons and daughters. Arms for the sons and daughters. Not a show, glad to go. Tended with care, row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request. EG, the New York Festival. Gather round one and all, celebrate the yam's arrival. EG, bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make for food. Families, friends, old and new. Sharing meals with love and laughter. Traditions passed to sons and daughters. Arms for the sons and daughters. Not a show, glad to go. Tended with care, row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request. EG, the New York Festival. Gather round one and all, celebrate the yam's arrival. EG, bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make for food. Families, friends, old and new. Sharing meals with love and laughter. Traditions passed to sons and daughters. Arms for the sons and daughters. Not a show, glad to go. Tended with care, row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request. EG, the New York Festival. Gather round one and all, celebrate the yam's arrival. EG, bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make for food. Families, friends, old and new. Sharing meals with love and laughter. Traditions passed to sons and daughters. Arms for the sons and daughters. Not a show, glad to go. Tended with care, row by row. Harvest time has come at last. give thanks for nature's request. Iriji, the New York Festival. Gather round one and all, celebrate the arms arrival. Iriji, bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make fufu, families, friends, old and new. Sharing meals with love and laughter, traditions passed to sons and daughters. What's a sons and daughters? That's a show. Glad to go. Tended with care, row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request. Iriji, the New York Festival. Gather round one and all, celebrate the arms arrival. Bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make fufu, families, friends, old and new. Sharing meals with love and laughter, traditions passed to sons and daughters. What's a sons and daughters? That's a show. Glad to go. Tended with care, row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request. Iriji, the New York Festival. Gather round one and all, celebrate the arms arrival. Bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make fufu, families, friends, old and new. Sharing meals with love and laughter, traditions passed to sons and daughters. What's a sons and daughters? That's a show. Glad to go. Tended with care, row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request. Iriji, the New York Festival. Gather round one and all, celebrate the arms arrival. Bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make fufu, families, friends, old and new. Sharing meals with love and laughter, traditions passed to sons and daughters. What's a sons and daughters? That's a show. Glad to go. Tended with care, row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request. Iriji, the New York Festival. Gather round one and all, celebrate the arms arrival. Bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make fufu, families, friends, old and new. Sharing meals with love and laughter, traditions passed to sons and daughters. What's a sons and daughters? That's a show. Glad to go. Tended with care, row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request. Iriji, the New York Festival. Gather round one and all, celebrate the arms arrival. Iriji, Bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make fufu. Families, friends, old and new. Sharing meals with love and laughter. Traditions passed to sons and daughters. What a sons and daughters, let us show gratitude go. Tended with care, row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request. EG, the New York festival. Gather round one and all, celebrate the yams arrival. Bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make fufu. Families, friends, old and new. Sharing meals with love and laughter. Traditions passed to sons and daughters. What a sons and daughters, let us show gratitude go. Tended with care, row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request. EG, the New York festival. Gather round one and all, celebrate the yams arrival. Bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make fufu. Families, friends, old and new. Sharing meals with love and laughter. Traditions passed to sons and daughters. What a sons and daughters, let us show gratitude go. Tended with care, row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request. EG, the New York festival. Gather round one and all, celebrate the yams arrival. Bountiful blessings flow. In Nova Scotia, let us show gratitude for all we sow. Pounding yams to make fufu. Families, friends, old and new. Sharing meals with love and laughter. Traditions passed to sons and daughters. What a sons and daughters, let us show gratitude go. Tended with care, row by row. Harvest time has come at last. Let's give thanks for nature's request.
Celebrate, time to feast. New yam harvest brings the peace. Halifax, Nova Scotia glow. From Igbo land we let it flow. Joy and color fill the air. Drumming rhythms everywhere. Unity in every dance. Let the spirits take a chance. EG, we sing so loud. It will.
Immediately after that, we'll now come to the awards session, and we'll be presenting the plaques to well-deserving persons in our midst. So, ladies and gentlemen, please bear with us as we quickly do the fire charts, and we'll come over to the awards. We're almost done with today's event. You've been an amazing audience. Please, a round of applause to yourself. Thank you.
You guys sound good. You guys.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, so I think we should start with a quick introduction of ourselves, quickly, so that the audience know who is on the podium here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ikenna Okpala. I wrote, researched everything you've just seen.
Amazing, amazing. And next.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. My name is Dr. George Chimdembara. I'm from Owerri, Imo State, Nigeria, and I work with the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Nova Scotia. I'm pleased to be here this evening.
And you did what? What did you do?
Yes, and I, I think I just want to say that this...
You gave birth to the project.
Yes, the project.
Please, a round of applause for Dr. Mbara.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. I named the project ah-fah-MEH-foo-nah because, yeah.
By accident, but it's a long story.
Yeah, that's good.
Sure.
And we skipped someone. There's a beautiful baby sitting on your leg.
Sir. And this is my daughter, Inyoma.
There you go.
George Mbara.
There you go.
Inyoma, say hi.
I love that. I love that greeting. Okay, and next, please.
Hello. Oh, hello. My name is Michelle Kemgisha. I was the assistant director of photography, and set designer.
And you are from where? What country are you from?
I'm from Uganda.
Oh, nice. And press the button. There's a button.
Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Amazing. My name is Ugochukwu Joseph Onyekore, and I'm the director of the Ah-fah-MEH-foo-nah documentary.
And last but not the least.
Yes, my name is Ugochukwu Ezemenari. I'm just that guy that put my name on it.
Okay. So, well, we've already gotten a snippet of what necessitated this production, but I think we should ask the question more formally. What gave birth to this amazing baby called ah-fah-MEH-foo-nah?
Okay, so I'll take the stage here. So this project was conceived sometime in 2024 when Ebubedike here and myself, we both facilitated a workshop. It was organized by the School of Social Sciences, Dalhousie University. And then we were talking about Igbo culture, Igbos in diaspora. So when we were discussing the whole idea, how the discussion was going to flow, and I now say to Ewedike, say, you see, the summary of all we are saying here is simply ah-fah-MEH-foo-nah. May our name never be lost. We are trying to be sure that our story is told, is preserved. Just like Chino Achebe said, that if the story of the hunt is always told, if the story is always told about the hunt and nothing is said about the lion, that the story will always favor the hunter. So this time around, it's time for the lion to also tell its own story. It's not always about the story of, yeah. So I say this is an opportunity for us to tell our stories, because when somebody tells your story, you have to take whatever character they portray it to be.
Amazing, amazing. Now, let's talk about the concept of the movie. Who came up with the concept of the movie, and what was thought of before coming up with the concept that we just watched? I think we should talk to probably the director.
Okay, let me take it from here. So, like Doctor said, and Ikenna, so Doctor, when they came back from that program, they called me as the chairman of the Igbo Cultural Association, and they pitched to me that this is what they're thinking. So, and at that point, Ikenna has started his research, and I liked what he was talking about, and I felt this is something that we can do. So we swung into action to start looking for funding to make this happen. And we got tremendous support from a lot of members of the community and especially from Department of Culture, Heritage, and CCH. I think Ray is somewhere here.
Ray.
Yeah. So
Ray, can you wave your hands?
Yeah, and also
Thank you so much.
Yes, they really met us where we were and gave us all the support we needed. And also the city as well supported us in Halifax City. Also WestJet as well. So we when we got this concept, we started running with it. And then we were very opportune to have Ugochukwu Onyekwere at that time available free. So we engaged him. And then we pitched this with him and we discussed. He loved it too. So we started. And the beauty about this, the funny thing about this, we started with just let us know who was the first Igbo person that came to Nova Scotia. And then the rabbit hole increases. That's how we started. And then we're here.
Amazing, amazing. Now let me quickly switch, come over to Ugo. Ugo, when directing this movie, shooting and directing this movie, what were some of the challenges and obstacles that you might have encountered? Can you share a thought or two about that?
I think for the most part, it was trying to connect all of the storylines, all of the timelines, as well as the timing as well. Because like Chairman said, when the documentary came in, this morphed into what it is. Every single person sitting here is experiencing what this is for the first time. And those challenges was the things that I thought, were going to be a big obstacle, but with the team and the support that we all got, we're able to overcome them. So the two obstacles, the timing, and as well as being able to tie the whole story together to fit every timeline.
Okay.
I just want to give him a round of applause, please. I just want to say that challenge, if your dream does not scare you, it's not the right dream.
Yeah.
And that is the barometer that Igbos always use. We are people who, like Mrs. Anyanwu will say, there's so many things that would have come out. It's because you are Igbo, that's why it doesn't scare you. So, and that's been the barometer that, guided a lot of us through it. And the thing is, I think in terms of challenge was, there was a big gap between my generation and the cohorts that you see. So the 1938 to 1989 cohorts that came to Nova Scotia. They lived in a different time from myself, So, talking to them, giving assurances and things like that, I think I overcommitted to an extent. And I want to say I want to give them kudos that the fact that as things were evolving and things were not going well, they showed maturity and they showed patience with us. This was no easy feat. The tireless nights, the Ubers, the Even at the point I had to go for eye surgery. So this was a roller coaster. Trust me. When I was watching this thing, I was emotional. I was just going through everything. But here we are. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you.
Now, I'd like to quickly speak with the only lady in the midst and maybe share a thought or two about your role in the creation of this movie. How important and sensitive was your role?
Oh, you can hear me.
Go ahead, please.
First of all, I think coming from outside, there was a bit of that heavy thing. You have to like be able to produce something that they can appreciate. But I think this entire experience has been more of a learning kind of experience and also inspirational, having especially people out in the diaspora come
I would say probably 75 to 80% of the scenes in one location. And Michelle was very integral in the sense that, she was able to see this one location that is originally a salon, and she converted it into multiple locations. And we're able to do 4, 5, 6 interviews, in a stipulated amount of time. So I do appreciate you for that. And please give a round of applause.
Nice. Now, my final question to you guys is it's going to be a uniform question, and it is, where do we go from here? Are we going to see more productions in line with the name Áfàméfùnà?
Absolutely. If what we do, if it doesn't scare us, point.
Yeah.
By the special grace of God, he who lives above the cherubims, we will do this again, and we will continue with the cohorts of the 1990s. You need to come into my Google Drive.
Amazing.
You've not seen anything yet, because the stories
There's more
that are coming. The stories that are coming, beautiful stories. We all remember Ngozi Oti. We all remember, I don't want to spoil it, but so there's this. We're going to go from the cohort of 1990, solely as God willing. We will we'll continue. I just want to give a special shout out to my wife. Please, everybody, please clap for this wonderful woman. Please.
Nice one.
Please. I missed it when I had the opportunity, so please allow me to take that opportunity, because without that support system, I would be lost. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Now that Ike have put me in trouble, let me also my wife too. All right, but that's just for fun. But honestly, I appreciate my wife for her understanding, because several meeting doesn't happen in the day. We all hold 9 to 5 jobs. Most times we spend 6 hours from 8 p.m. Sometimes we'll end our meetings to 2 a.m., 1 a.m., 12 o'clock. So it's been a roller coaster. I'm glad everything pulled back and everything went well. Thank you to the director and the assistant, because everything we saw today, if they were not there, it just would be. They put it through and crossed the finish line. Thank you so much.
Well said. Well said. Now, I want to do something that wasn't part of the script here, and that is it's a good thing Professor Isaac Sane is here with us, and I want him to quickly come up here and tell us what his thought as regards to the amazing movie we just watched. So, sir, please make welcome once more to our keynote speaker, Professor Isaac Sani, to come tell us a thing or two about what we just watched.
Well, as a historian, I think it's incredibly important to, and as I said before, to preserve the stories, as I said, sometimes driven by, but it's realized through people's efforts. I think what we saw was a wonderful collection of people living their lives, but driven by some of the fundamental things that unite all of us. A collective commitment to principles to try and create a better world, not just for themselves, not just for their children, but for, not just for the fellow members of their nation, right? But I think in the case of Nova Scotia, to make a better province, right? So I think documentaries such as these are going to be very important in the future. As many people point out, and I'm sure many of you have seen that in the last 5 to 10 years, Nova Scotia has changed tremendously. Okay, and I have to say that we're living, and unfortunately, it's impossible not to talk about something of this nature without talking about what we see unfolding in the world, particularly to the south of us, where these stories are being erased, where people's humanity is being diminished, even denied. So I think this is a very important thing in acknowledging that people of African descent are deeply human. And of course, humanity emerged in Africa. And I don't want to sound like I'm giving a big plug for Dalhousie University, but at Dalhousie University, we have one of the leading scholars on Africana philosophy, Dr. Chike Jeffers. Yeah. And Chike Jeffers, together with his colleague Peter Adamson, who's based in England, produced a magnificent book. It's in 2 volumes called Africana Philosophy. And it begins by looking at the idea that the first philosophers had to be Africans, because that's where humanity emerged. And he does an incredible job, and it's been published by Oxford University Press. I encourage you to buy the book. There's a 2nd volume coming out. So I think what this does, it asserts the deeply human and powerful nature of Africans and the incredible contribution they've made to building hopefully what will be a much better and much more just, much more inclusive, much more equitable Canada. Thank you.
Well said. So at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, I think you should stand and take a bow. And we do some quick photo sessions. And can we come together for some pictures? Come closer. And I think I will join. I'm part of the team. Okay, now we've come to another very important part of tonight's occasion, and that's honoring those who. Okay. So to help us present these plaques, these awards, I would like to invite Susie Hansen to come up here. She will be helping us. Yes, I need to read out some of her bio. I think I have it here. I mentioned that I would. No, I have to. I have to. Indulge me, please. I have to. Okay. Beautiful.
No, from, okay, yeah.
I have it here. So Honorable Susan Hanson, MLA Halifax, Needham, serving as opposition critic for housing, African Nova Scotian Affairs and Human Rights Commission, one of 4 Black Canadians elected to Nova Scotian legislature in 2021, first Black woman representing Halifax, Needham, mother of 7 with family ties to Africville, former Halifax Regional School Board member and Phoenix Youth Program staff, leading voice against housing crisis, championing rent control and public housing expansion, recently introduced the Bloomfield Act and advocates for housing affordability, noting she still rents despite MLA salary. Interesting. Unable to afford buying in her childhood neighborhood. Ladies and gentlemen, the amazing Honorable Susan Hanson. So she will be helping us to present the plaques to our awardees. So I'm going to be calling out the names of the distinguished awardees, and as you hear your name, please come out and the Honorable will do the presentation. First on the list is a posthumous recognition to our beloved Dr. Okechukwu Ikejiani. I want to believe there's a representative that will be accepting that on his behalf. Is there anybody in-house to Oh, amazing. Please, a round of applause for the amazing sons of the late Dr. Okechukwu Ikejiani. His kids are here, and we're very honored to have them with us. Oh, okay, and Alex has a plaque of his own too. Alex that we saw in the documentary, he's also here, and he's receiving his also. Thank you very much. The legacy of Dr. Okechukwu Ikejiani lives on, and it's one name we will always remember for his wonderful and amazing gesture. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being here. Next on the list is another posthumous recognition, this time going to Tony Atwanya. Mr. Tony Atwanya was a business professional, entrepreneur, community development advocate in the Maritime Province. And we are very deeply honored to be giving this amazing plaque to him. Yes, please, the family should join, please. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Next on the list is our amiable, honorable Tony Ains. Former MLA and cabinet minister. Thank you for your presence. Sorry. And for being with us this far. Yeah. Thank you very much. I don't know why Honorable Tony did not wear that beautiful regalia he wore in the documentary. I mean, come on. You look like an Ichie. Back home we call them an Ichie. Come on. Next week, eh? I'll hold you to it. Okay. Next on the list is the beautiful Leanne Jones. It's interesting. She looks like Mama Africa, and she's wearing an African chain. She's wearing a chain with the map of Africa that symbolizes Mama Africa. Oh, that's sweet. Beautiful. Beautiful. Next on the list is an award going to Dr. Apollos. Is someone here to accept this award on behalf of Dr. Apollos? Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you very much. And when you see the prof, tell him we extend our warmest and deepest love and best wishes. Next on the list is another award going to Mr. Louis Cheke. Chekwe. Oh, I didn't even know he was in our midst. I thought he wasn't around. He's an amazing gentleman that I've been proud to know since coming to Canada, and it's very beautiful to see that he's here with us. I think I'll take this picture with him. Okay, next on the list is an award to one of the faces you saw at the documentary in person of Christy Duru. Is Christy Duru in our midst, or is somebody receiving it on behalf? Okay, beautiful. Thank you. And following Christy is Benedict Anyao, another face you saw in the documentary. And it's double celebration for Benedict because she also will be receiving on behalf of our late husband his own plaque. And that's a posthumous recognition going to Hyacinth Anyao. Thank you very much. The next award is going to another community elder by name George Mbamalu. Is George Mbamalu in the house? Oh. Professor George Mbamalu. Sometimes men of timber and caliber go to hide. You won't even know they're around you. Thank you very much, Prof. Thank you for all your amazing contributions. Next on the list is another award going to Faith Madweke Ukadike. Oh, yeah. She's one-time ANS president, Association of Nigerians in Nova Scotians. Thank you very much.
After this guy.
Faith Moneke Ukadike.
After this guy ends. After this guy.
Okay. The Nemama. The last on the list here is an award going to Chuka Mbanu. Chuka Mbonu. It's one of the faces you saw too in the documentary. Oh yes, he's with us here. Mr. Chuka Mbonu. A professional general contractor. Importing, exporting, general merchandise. Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you very much, Susie. Now, I also want to do something that is not part of the script. And I'd like to invite back the one-time ANS president who just received her plaque earlier to come and give a vote of thanks on behalf of all the awardees. Yes, so permit me to invite back Madam Faith Madweke Ukadike to come on stage here and say a brief vote of thanks on behalf of all the awardees. Please, a round of applause as she comes here. Yes. Please, we can do better than that, eh? And then Nemama. Ibo kwenu, Renu, Mono, Kwezwenu.
I'm so honored to be here and also to thank everybody. When Ikenna called me for this, he did realize that I was related to Dr. Ikejian, and I gave him a lot of information, and also contact my cousins who are here from Ottawa and Toronto, Dr. Charles Ikejian and Alice Ikejian. It's a bit emotional for me because to do this thing is not an easy thing to put together. And for us to tell our stories, we all have different stories and different experience in this land. But one thing we have to understand that Nova Scotia land has blessed us and has blessed our children to come. And I'm now a grandmother, which I'm proud to be. So, on that note, I just want to thank everybody for coming, taking your time to listen and see what they have produced, and all of us to be united to move forward in this land. No matter the new ones that came here, there's people that lay the foundation and always ask questions, because sometimes the truth, we don't like the truth sometimes, but you need to listen to the truth to lead you further as we move further in this land. So being said that, thank you again, and thank you for coming. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Faith. Good. Well, right now we're at the home stretch of tonight's event. We're almost done. We're almost there. Thank you very much. Please, once more, a round of applause to yourself. You've been an amazing audience. Thank you very much for being with us patiently as the event carries on. At this time, I want to quickly invite eBay. I'm told eBay still has a thing or two to share with us as regards to the artwork he did earlier. Am I correct? Ugochukwu, do you have confirmation on that? Are we still inviting eBay? Okay. Please, once more, let's appreciate eBay Ananaba as he comes back on stage. You're supposed to take us through your artwork one more time. Yeah, please, get the artwork. And there's also another session we're going to be having with the president of ANNS. I know there's a session we're having with Azuka. Are we still having that session? Because that's the last part of tonight's event that we're having. So I want to confirm that. Okay. You can pick any of the mic, Ibe. Any of the mic will serve.
Good evening, everyone. The heart is filled with joy, right? Seeing all of us together. Everything that has been said on this stage, I thank everyone who has spoken because it makes my job easier. Everything that has been said is what is reflected here, right? Everything that has been said. This is a visual story of...
Sorry, guys, can we please keep the voice down a bit while Ibe takes his part, please? Thank you very much.
Yeah, so this is a visual story of so many things. Starting from what brought us here, which would be this, which would be through the waters, to the current times. What brought me, I came here through this airplane. But then the central figures that you see here point towards what ah-fah-MEH-foo-nah is. May my name never be forgotten. What does that mean? It means hard work. It means sustenance. It means knowing, it means self-awareness, knowing thyself. because it's from knowing yourself that you'll be able to function. What you see here is a story that takes all of us back home to our roots, to where we started. There's a bonding here. Watching the documentary, when Prof was talking and when everyone that spoke there, you would see philosophy. So moving forward, I mean, it's what pushes us, because anywhere we are, we wear our identity with pride. We wear our identity with pride, with our shoulders, with our heads up high. With our heads up high. I am kind of short of words, but I thank everyone who has spoken before me. I thank you for being here. I thank you for making out time. I feel like I'm back home. Watching the Fireside chat, I felt like I was under that tree. You know, the storytelling culture that we have.
Yep.
I felt like I was sitting under that tree with my brothers and sisters.
Under the mango tree.
Yes. I felt like I was there wearing that, your typical singlet and tying. Yes. Sipping some palm wine.
Under the moonlight.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the feeling. So with Áfàméfùnà, it's a call. It's an assertion as well. It's a call for us to continually unite. It's a call for us to continually push forward, because we're a forward-thinking people, a forward-thinking tribe. We are the source. We are the source. There's no story without us.
Yep.
There's no story without us. I've talked about anti-erasure, which this still is all about. Let's continue to support one another. Let's continue to reflect our essence. Let's continue to show the world what we are made of. May we never be timid. May we never be withdrawn. May we never look down on ourselves, because the brown leather is divine. This is a blessing. It's a blessing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ibe, for that wonderful rendition. Ladies and gentlemen, right about now, in the media palace, we say it's a wrap. Whatever has a beginning must surely have an end. And right about now, we've come to the end of today's event. We want to thank you all for being here tonight with us. Special thanks to all of our amazing partners and sponsors, from the government of Nova Scotia to Halifax HRM, ANNS, WestJet. We say a big thank you to all of you for being here. And as you go back home, we wish you Johnny Mercy to your various abode. It's been an honor being the host for tonight's event. And as I said earlier, my name remains William Suzombe. And hope to see you in many of the other events we will be having. Like next week, exactly next week, we'll be having another very traditional event that is synonymous with the Igbo culture. That's the Iriji Festival. Here is inviting every one of you here tonight to be part of that event. It's another very special event that is synonymous with the Igbo culture. So come next week, come and rejoice with us as we celebrate the Iriji Festival. Once more, it's been an honor. Do have a lovely evening and hope to see you some other time. But the networking session starts right about now. Network, get to know yourself, exchange contacts, exchange pleasantries. We want to keep the story going even after today. The story must continue. Thank you.
Hello. Hello, everybody. I hope you had an amazing time and you'll have an amazing night. Good night and thank you. Bye. I hope you had an amazing.
It's off.
What's that?
It's off.